biggest storyline was the Trey Smith kind of seeing if he was going to come to mandatory minicamp. He hadn't been in any of the OTAs, but everyone's like, oh, will he be at mandatory minicamp? And he showed up to mandatory minicamp. And hopefully hopefully this shows things are getting smooth in the contract talks. We'll talk about that on the other side of this. But Chris Jones commented and applauded Trey Smith for coming to mandatory minicamp and made a couple of funny comments about the way he handled his situation.
Good. Trey didn't take my approach. Trey doing the right thing, man. I think the future plans for the Chiefs is to have Trey around. He's a pivotal part of our offensive line. To have him back out here, he's a superior guard in this league. Could be all pro this year. His body of work speaks for itself. So we're glad to have him back out. Brings a lot of energy to the offensive line, and it's a good way for us to compete on the defensive line.
Can he come to you for advice on that?
No, don't take no advice from me. Like, I did things a little different. Don't take no advice from me. Trey, you in a good place. Franchise tag is like $25 million, right? That's the big bucks. He's in a good place. Stay healthy. Be ready to compete in training camp, which I know Trey will be, and we're excited to have him around.
From the way you described it with Trey's situation, do you feel like you would do it differently today than you did a couple years ago with your contract?
Did I do it differently?
Would you do it differently now if you had it to do again? Just from the way you're describing it, it sounds like that.
Did I do it differently when I had this position?
Would you do it differently?
Would I? Yeah. I'm asking you, did I do it differently when I was in this position? You got your answer right there.
So it seems like he would do it the way Trey Smith's doing it right now. That's what it seems like. Basically,
it seemed to me like he was fine with his decision he made.
Is that what you took from that?
That's what I took from it. I don't know. Maybe he said you got your answer. He said, "Did I do it differently?" Well, yeah, he did it differently. But I think Chris Jones was in a different category than Trey is now. And I'd say that. Arguably Chris was the best defensive tackle out there, period. I don't think it was any question. It was between him and Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald retired, I think at the time, didn't he?
Yes.
So it was no question about that. I mean, Chris was the guy. He was setting the market. And Trey, I guess in a sense, he's kind of, setting the market somewhat. That's why he's on the tagline. I don't think the Chiefs they're willing to pay him to be in the top guard in the league. There's a difference. So that's why I say I think it's a different thing as opposed with Trey. And so Trey, this is going to be his first major contract. Chris, he hit him over the head and he was like, man, I need to get paid more money than what I got. Yeah, I got some money, but I need to get paid more because I know I'm the best. Ain't nobody else getting double teamed out here like I am. And there was no lie about that. No lies told. Zero. So
yeah, I believe that was his second contract at the time. That was his second big one. So he has rookie deal. Then he got paid in 2020 or 2021, and then he got paid again.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
So
it was a little different.
Yeah, and one, like you said, he was already an established guy, whereas we're still waiting on Trey Smith to become that, that guard. But he said he's making the big bucks, $25 million on that tag, which is nice. But JD, do you think this signals kind of like a goodwill thing here? Like, I'll come to mandatory minicamp knowing that. I mean, does this say anything as far as what could be possibly going on behind the scenes, as far as maybe they are hammering out a long-term deal right now, or like things are good? I guess my question is, it's not like heated, because with the Chris Jones thing, it seemed like things were very far apart and things kind of got like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to come anything. I'm not going to come, and he missed week one. It seemed like things were kind of, a little bit far apart in that situation, right? We knew he wasn't coming to mandatory minicamp. Trey Smith comes to the media day, does his headshots, does all that stuff, and then comes to mandatory minicamp. So do you think they are close? I mean, as we kind of near that July 17th deadline?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I think it did, like you said, this is just kind of like in goodwill Trey's like, hey, man, like, I'm going to have to come do the job, right? Minicamp, I know I had to be here at this. I know I had to be at minicamp, okay? And so let me go out here and show the guys how it's done, that I'm dedicated. And I think that really bodes well for him, to be honest. And so it is kind of that good guy approach. That's what you were saying is, let me get, some of my fans behind me too. Trey's out here. We're speaking positive about him. Doesn't look like he's too greedy. He's going to get 25 million smackaroos. So, hey, man, why don't the Chiefs go ahead and pay him? And let's say they don't. He's still guaranteed $25 million. That's still 25 guaranteed. And so, I don't know how far along they are, Marcus, to be honest with you. I can't even tell you that. But yeah, there obviously there's something going on behind the scenes. There's still constant negotiations. We know this. But that doesn't tell me as far as like how far along they are, just because Trey showed up. I think this is more has to do with who Trey is. And also too, not saying Chris was a bad guy doing it. I think Chris did the right thing, to be honest with you. I thought the Chiefs should have paid him when he should have got paid, instead of dragging it out to the time that they needed. Seriously. And I think Mike Brennan was sitting there saying, he said he's trying not to hold it against. He said, I try my best not to hold how players do their contract negotiations against players. The team won't pay them if they get hurt. It's a big risk to take. Yeah, look, the team, shoot, it's a business. It is. And so sometimes as a player, I'm like, hey, man, shoot, get on the team. Get on them guys for not paying me. I'm worth this type of money. Go ahead and pay me. And so, as players, yeah, we want to get paid. You got to know your value. And there's no reason going out there and trying to lowball yourself. You don't bid against yourself. Don't do that ever. If you know you're a valuable part of the team, you're going to seek that value out. That's what you do. Okay? However it may come. And, forget what everybody else is saying around that. Shoot. If anybody else is in that position, they're going to do that too. You got to go out for your best interest. And like you said, if you get hurt, team don't have to compensate you for that. They don't do any of it. Oh, well, appreciate it. I done seen teams plenty of times throw guys out the door. Okay. So they're not the benevolent people, part of this whole deal. All right. So let's not get that thing twisted. Okay. I'm always pushing for players to go out there, man, and get paid their money for sure. Shoot. So we ain't ever fighting about teams getting paid money. Them jokers getting plenty of money. We might talk about the concessions, all these different things and whatnot. But then when it comes to contract negotiation, hey, man, players want to get paid. And I'll say this. In the NFL, teams, there was a reason the teams didn't want to open up their books, Marcus. There's a reason NFL teams didn't want to open up their books. Why? They got a whole lot of stacks, boy, back there. So that's all I say.
I mean, look, Lakers are selling their franchise for $10 billion today. They're worth. These teams are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, 10 Bs, and she's still going to remain the governor. So,
yeah, right. I just think, as far as Trey Smith, and I'm seeing here, it's kind of what you said, right? It's the good guy approach to the whole situation, right? As far as I'm not going to be villainized in the eyes of the Twitter trolls we talk about. So the usual people are going to jump down his throat like, oh, man, he's not a team guy. He's bailing on mandatory minicamp, distraction, get him out of here kind of thing. You're not going to see that, right? I'm coming regardless if the negotiations are going good or going sour. I'm coming mandatory minicamp because I'm going to get paid my $25 million tag, or I get my contract extension. Now I'm all good. So like right now he's playing. I would say he's playing it very well, right? Coming to the mandatory minicamp, not a distraction at all. Because at first, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, like, oh, will this be a distraction in 2 weeks? What happens? He comes, reports on Monday this week, and we're talking about how great of a team guy he is. We're not talking about, oh man, is this gonna linger throughout the training camp? Is this gonna continue in training camp? Because now we know he is gonna report the training camp. He's reporting the mandatory minicamp.
Well, then that is the distraction, right? And then all of a sudden you start going in, well, who's going to replace him if this happens? And then you had to go, that's a whole different conversation. Who's going to be the guy then if Trey's not here? Oh my God, what then happens then, right? And it's not the saying that the Chiefs won't fill somebody in, because they will. They'll keep moving along because that's just the business. We have depth on the offensive line this year. We do. So, but Trey, like Chris is saying, Trey's doing all the right things, right? He is staying in the positive light with everybody, organization, the fans, the media. He's a good guy in this thing, really. So,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, somebody said pay the man. Who said pay the man? Pay the man. Somebody said it.
Got a lot of people saying to pay the man in here. Wingus Dingus.
Wingus Dingus, pay the man. That's right, Wingus Dingus, pay him.
Chad, in my opinion, Smith didn't carry his weight of his contract last year. Better players for less money out there.
Oh.
Well, technically his contract right now is his 6th-round pick value. He's been playing way above that 6th-round pick, that contract.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So maybe he's talking about the $25 million on the.
That's a different story. That's a different story altogether.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, the Chiefs are weighing all options. They are. With every player that is supposedly get a contract, is up for a contract, they're trying to resign. They have put every scenario out in front of guys and saying, okay, what if we don't have a Trey Smith here? What do we do? What is the contingency plan? Okay. How much is it going to hurt us? Is this going to hurt the integrity of our offensive line and protect Pat if we put somebody else in there? Yes, it will. So Trey is vital to what we do on our success. So we got to weigh it out, the value of it. What do we pay? Now, when we sit over here, now we're trying to sign the contract. What does that mean? Does that mean he's going to get $25 million a year, Marcus? So that's another thing they had to do. They had to weigh it out, right? And they might try to kick the can down the road. Longer contract doesn't hit them as much as far as against the cap and all those different things. Somebody was sitting there saying, as well, Richie, the contingency plan for everything, absolutely 100%. Somebody was talking about Jawan might be going next. Well, we don't know all these. We don't know, but they are putting everything, and weighing it all and measuring it all out. Trust me. So that's how it works.
And I hope Trey Smith gets all the money he wants. Guys been playing. Everyone always talks about guys playing, below his contract. Well, a guy's been playing above his contract since the day we got him, right? He's been a 6th-round pick starter for us since day one. And 6th-rounders don't make anything. So, he's been playing. Every penny he gets, he's earned his $25 million tag. Earned it. The guy's been a 6th-round pick. Medical red flag guy, right? Coming out of his story, with the blood clots that I believe he had. And, but look what he's done for this team, right? He's been a Super Bowl guard for us, and he's played almost, I think, every game besides these Week 18 games. So, he's been playing way above that 6th-round pick salary. Now it's due now.
Yeah,
rent is due.
Yeah, rent is due. It's on the Chiefs. They plan on paying it. What the new rent is.
Yeah, Trey Smith has made $3.6 million over the past 4 years. He has definitely played to his contract. Wow, 3.6 over 4 years, man. Wow.
Yeah, no fact. Hey, that's a fact.
Right guards in college are getting paid more than that with their NIL money. Come on.
Hey. Hey, I know they probably hope so. That man, hey, that is what they're truly weighing. Is Trey the one setting the market this year? Really, this is it. This is what it boils down to, in the contract. So,
yeah. Demetrius Spence, Trey Smith is also an Iron Man. He's never hurt. Yeah, that's a big point as well. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.